he's a bit creepy. He looks like a cute teddy bear, but he sounds like he could watch you in your sleep.
Yeah, Craig. I don't know about that name. I know a Craig. He probably watched me in my sleep. He was also a military dude.
I also know Craig, actually, funny enough, and thankfully he's not a weird teddy bear that watches people on Discord.
And the weird teddy bears who watch people in Discord.
He is. He's
I
just a weird
forgot.
teddy bear that watches people on Discord, man. He's like, I keep making the joke that he listens to our audio and sends it to the Chinese.
Oh, that would be a Craig thing to do.
That would, yes. Okay, ready?
Yes. Ready, set, go.
Welcome to the Tiger Nexus Podcast, a place where you'll find interviews with content creators and geeks alike. Your host, Tiger, has delved upon the Nexus and found interesting content creators and geeks of all fandoms. This podcast is connected to the Zero Hero Network. And now we dive in with another episode!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tiger Nexus podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Tiger, and today my guest is one of the. I'm actually going to use one of the best. That is the word I'm going to go with. One of the best 3D printer, content creator, and Power Ranger fan on TikTok. I am very blessed to have K3vl0ck on the podcast. Hello, Kev. How are you?
Hello, thank you for having me on the podcast, and I am incredibly humbled that you called me the best, but I am not the best. I just try hard, but I'm not the best.
I like that you're a try hard, not the. Hey, at least you're willing to admit you try hard. At least you're willing to label yourself as that.
Yep.
How is things with you? Like, how's the weather? How's the vibe going?
Well, we had a fake fall here, so like it went down to about between 55 and 70 degrees for a week, and now it's about yesterday it was 104 Fahrenheit, which I believe that's trying to convert that to C right now. A ridiculous amount. Let's just say that. Um, so it is very, very hot here, and I am just getting over pneumonia. Surprisingly, I had that for like the last week. No one really knew that much, but I'm getting over it, and I'm doing better, and I'm back to my whole printing project. Right now, I have a huge, huge commission order of 40 MMPR weapons, and I am trying my best to do as much as I can.
Holy crap! Yeah, damn. Yeah, I live in Wales in the UK, and yeah, we've lost summer now. We've lost the good old sun. So for the last I want to say for at least the last week, it's just been rain. Just not even good rain. Just like the horrible, chucking it down. Everything soaked. Nobody
Chunky.
wants to be out it. Like there's towns close to me that have car parks that are completely flooded and that sort of
A
shit, and it's just like
lot of
I
rain.
I don't like this type of year, man. It gets dark early and it's just like, nah, bro. I miss summer already. It's mental. Um but yeah, man, I've been following you for a long time now. I've been a massive fan. We've spoken a good couple of times. You know Mark, the Red Corner Ranger. He's one of
Yep.
my bros. So watching you make the stuff you do, it's very clear, Power Ranger fan. What kind of got you into? Okay, so I guess my first question is, what came first, 3D printing or making content?
Um, Making content, but it wasn't 3D printing related at all. But it was barely any content as it is. So when I first started my TikTok page, I was trying to be funny. And honestly, I'm not funny online. I'm only funny in person. Ha ha. But it didn't play that well. But it wasn't even really Power Rangers related. I kind of kept that to myself until I saw there was a bigger Ranger community on TikTok, and then I was like, hey, let me do this. But 3D printing and Power Ranger content kind of came hand in hand at the same time. The reason being is I wanted a power axe. So and that's part of the weapons I'm printing. I wanted a power axe for myself, and I saw
Mm.
people like have full props and stuff online, and I was like, you know what? I want to finally do this. I'm gonna get a power axe. And I looked online at the time, and a person selling a power axe wanted $300 plus shipping. This was 2019, by the way, or 18. They wanted $300 plus shipping for the power axe. And I looked at myself and said, I'm cheap. Absolutely not. So I heard that you could 3D print one. So I was like, how much is a 3D printer? I looked up the cheapest 3D printer I could find, and I did some estimates, and I was like, okay, I can make the Power Axe less than $300 plus shipping. I could probably make two and then continue on about it. And then this could be like a new hobby. Surprise, surprise, the 300 less than $300 3D printer and supplies did not make that Power Axe. It ended up taking me to make my first Power Axe about $900. Didn't ask for help 3D printing and didn't know what I was doing. So it's a struggle, but it's fun.
Yeah, honestly, the stuff you make is incredible. You're very you're very good at showcasing what you're making and things. What 3D printer do you actually have, or 3D printers if you've got more than one?
So I'll start with what I started with first, which was a JG Magic Aurora. It is a cheaper company. And that printer was like I think like $140. It was really 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 small. I didn't have any of these extra features or anything. So I started with that. Then I upgraded to an Ender 3 without the auto leveling or any of that. And then I got another Ender 3 Max Neo that had the auto leveling, but still didn't basically do what it needed to. From that one, I got a Cobra Max. I didn't like it, ended up returning it. And then I got an Elegoo Neptune 3, Neptune 4, a K2 Plus, and I just had a Sensory Carbon that I had to return. And the only reason I had to return the Sensory Carbon is it wouldn't even get past the initial loading screen. So I'm just going to wait another 6 months before I repurchase one because I don't want to have that issue. I looked up and similar people are having a lot of issues with theirs and they're fighting with customer service. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to fight with customer service on the new printer.
Yeah, that. Don't you just love it when technology is like, hey, this is like, we're gonna advertise this to you as like one of the best, but we're gonna give you a bunch of issues at the same time.
Yep. I
Yeah.
was like, no, thank you.
So would you say that like when it comes to having a 3D printer, it's one of those things where like the more money you put into buying a 3D printer, the more benefit you get from it?
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much. And now that I said the original printer I had, I'm on the website of that company, and it looks like they have a really large printer um, for the same price as the Sensory Carbon. So I'm looking into this one now.
So I actually have a 3D printer. Is if you ever like see my videos where I'm sat in my office, which is most of my videos, it's the black thing behind me, and um, I've it again. I don't know what to do here. I'm new to this, and um, it just doesn't do what it's meant to do. And I've spoken to someone who I met at a marketplace. He was selling like 3D printed stuff that he made, like dragons and lizards and stuff, like the movable ones that you can print, the ones that like can move and everything.
Yeah,
So like
the
someone,
articulated.
yeah, that's it. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. And like he kind of like walked me through like maybe I need to like install an update or whatever, and I'm like, okay, so ever so slowly in the background when I'm not too busy, I am trying to make that thing work. It is slowly killing me. I would love to like 3D print stuff. It's kind of like one of those dreams that I'd like to eventually get somewhere. So you obviously are a fan of Power Rangers. Are
Yeah.
you are you a Mighty Morphin baby? Are you like did you start with Mighty Morphin and go from there?
No. So surprisingly, I started with Dio. Um, actually, no. No, no, I started with. It's a little of both, right? I caught Mighty Morphin right at the end, where the movie was taking place. So that's where I started with Mighty Morphin, and then Zeo was like my actual series. And because back then everything wasn't like instantly available online for you to rewatch stuff, they were still playing Zeo, but they were only playing Mighty Morphin so many episodes at a time. So I had to kind of just like it was almost like watching it for the first time because you had to wait weekly. Hey, this episode of the reruns, this episode of the reruns. So I started with Zeo, and my first Halloween costume from Power Rangers was Zeo Gold. I have a picture of it, and I wanted to recreate the picture, but I never even attempted to get the cosplay.
Yeah, to be fair, my introduction to Power Rangers was the same. I was born 98, so like um that was the year In Space came out. By the time I actually kind of like started watching Power Rangers properly, Time Force had just finished, Wild Force had just started. So I was watching the brand new episodes of Wild Force each time they aired, but I was also watching reruns of Time Force, and those are the two seasons that kind of got me into Power Rangers. And over the you know, holidays and things, they show off Mighty Morphin and Zeo and just odd episodes of the other seasons that came beforehand. Yeah, I was kind of in the similar boat of like something was ongoing, but they're showing reruns. But
Yeah,
s-
I
so
miss I miss the TV when it had reruns. It was good TV back then. Now
yeah,
you can't really find anything on live TV at all. So it's all streaming, which is fine because now you can get what you want immediately. So I'm about to start some Super Sentais to see where I want to go from there.
honestly, some of the Super Sentais are absolutely blimmin' phenomenal. I actually real big hot take. I much prefer Aber Ranger to Dino Thunder. Just story plot wise, I actually much prefer the Sentai. I still love Dino Thunder, but I really do love the Sentai it's based off. It's one of my favorite Sentais. It's so good. Really, really, really bizarre. Welcome to Super Sentai. Really bizarre, but it is really good. So when it comes to making all these Power Ranger, like you said, you've got like a whole bunch of weapons that you need to make for people and stuff. Do you ever feel a bit like taken aback that all these people want your things that you're making? It's your craft. This is like your thing. Like, does that ever
So
shock you, like how?
surprisingly, that literally just hit me last week. And I was on a small trip with my wife, and then she was like, "Do you ever think to yourself like?" Yeah, because my sister, the vacation I went to Universal Studios, and my sister lives by there. So like my sister and my wife were there, and they're like, "You ever stop to think like a lot of people have your stuff?" 'Cause my sister had me add up how many things I've actually made and then how many things I've sold, and she's like, "You sold over 240 pieces. Does that ever equate to you that at least over 200 people have your stuff?" And I'm like, I didn't think about it that way. It's like they wanted to buy your stuff, and now over 200 people have your things that you made. And I'm like, I don't even think I'm that good, but it kind of just set in, and I was like, that's kind of insane to think about, really.
And not only that, it's around the world. I mean, Mark's got something that you've made, and
I sold to
he's
Canada,
it's
England, Brazil, Africa, um, Dubai. I did have an Australian sale, but it ended up getting damaged in transit and never ended up getting remade because they were like, I'm not worried about it, and I just refunded it.
like, dude, you're literal global. Like your craft is literally globally known. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I'll go to cons and like I go to cons all over the country. Like California, Nevada, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, Kansas, South Dakota, and people will come to me and go, "Hey, you're Kevlock," and I'm like, "How do you, I don't even have that many followers. How do you know me?"
How many followers do you have at this moment in time of recording?
I let me look on my phone. I can open the top. I have 22,500, 504 exactly. But that is what I have. But the majority of those people are people who want to and want Power Ranger stuff or like Power Ranger stuff. I could probably have more followers if I like branched out a little bit more, as far as makes and or making more content because I don't make enough content as it is. I'm end up hand finishing everything too much, so I don't have any time to make content. And when I do, it's just like um, I have to clean up everything to make the content and make it all look nice. And I'm like, I don't even have time for it. A lot of the time, I don't even take pictures of my work and post it online before I send it out. Actually, I would say that's about 88% of the time. I don't take pictures of my work before I send it out.
Yeah, see that's an issue with TikTok is like and annoying. This is it's actually it can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. Is because it's consistency. Like if you uploaded every single day, twice a day, you'd get more traction because obviously the for you page, the feed, whatever you want to call it, is bombarded with your videos, which means you'd get more views, more traction, blah blah. But not everyone can do that. People have jobs and families and lives, and on top of that, you make things, and it's just like not everyone can do that. TikTok, calm the fuck down.
Yeah. Not everyone has the time for that, and not everyone can be a full time content creator. There's always a lot going on, and
Yeah, yeah.
some people don't understand that.
Like one thing that I get on TikTok because I go live with Cosplay Do 67 a lot, and I get like attacked quite often, and people are like, "Oh, what are you doing live on TikTok at midnight for?" I'm like, because it's the only time I can go live on TikTok.
Yeah,
This is like the only
and
time
that
I can do it. I have a 6-year-old son. I have a job. I have a fiance that I need to make sure is all like happy and dandy. I have 3 pets. I have a household. I have a I make content. This is the why are you attacking me for? This is the only time I can go live. Don't like it, go away. Like and it's just like it's stupid. Some people's mentalities. You said that if you branched out, you think you might get like more followers and stuff. Do you ever think about making things that aren't Power Rangers related, or are you like dead
I
set?
do, but I don't. Again, I don't like post them or anything. So like, I do make things that aren't Power Ranger related. Um, that end up just not being posted. Like the Digimon weapons, I did post those. I posted the custom Berserk helmet I made. I made Swords of Conan. I made World of Warcraft weapons. I've made um trying to go out of my Mandalorian stuff, Star Wars stuff. So
Oh,
I
bro,
made other things. I just never end up posting them.
the
Why is this not here? Uh,
the mighty morphin keyblades you made.
yeah.
Holy fuck, brother! One massive fan of Kingdom Hearts. Playing it since day one. Absolutely love Kingdom Hearts, one of my favorite gaming series. And then you decide to merge it with Power Rangers, and I'm just there like, brother, like, holy fuck, that was so cool. And like, uh,
So
I
I originally didn't decide to merge it with Power Rangers. That wasn't originally my idea. So a friend of mine who does combat in the grid, he likes to bounce ideas off me and other things like that. And he's like, "Yo, I'm thinking about doing Power Ranger Kingdom Hearts or whatever." So I was like, "That'd be awesome. I love Kingdom Hearts and I love Power Rangers." So he went and got the original green and white design for him, and he was like, "Look at this! I want to cosplay this." And I was like, "That's awesome!" To finish all the other colors, I can make these. And me and him went on it together. So we went back to the guy who created the original images, got all of the rest of the designs built up, and then I got all of them modeled into files myself, and then started making. Um, I don't know if he'd ever get to the point of physical item. He's usually good at like following through, but I wanted to help that go into full fruition. So I was the first person to make it, and the only person to own the files of the Power Ranger Keyblades.
bro, seriously, like those are so sick, and I love designing keyblades of characters that wouldn't be in Kingdom Hearts. I have an art channel. I'm not the best artist. I don't claim to be. But like I've designed like keyblades for like Cyclops, Wolverine, and Gambit from the X-Men, for example, and shit.
I
So like
would.
watching you design these Power Ranger Keyblades was right up my alley. I really enjoyed watching them come to, like, you showing them off and everything. They were really fucking cool. And the fact you did, like, practically the whole team as well, which is like really cool. Because not many, like, even Hasbro and toy lines don't even do that. I mean, we don't even have all the power, like, Lightning Collection power weapons. We don't even have all the power weapons, for fuck's sake. And it's just like the fact you were able to do that. It was just, yeah, honestly, I tip my hat to you. That was so fucking good, bro.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I want to do some more Keyblades and some more designs. I'm not, again, the best at designs, but I think the next thing I want to do, if I do any more Power Ranger, for sure, I want to do Zeo Gold. I want to do Shadow Ranger from SPD. And I mean, Dino Thunder is a little, eh. It depends on how I want to do it, but I definitely want to do those two, like Zeo Gold and the Shadow Ranger, because I feel like the Shadow Saber itself, if I could put those two heads on the hilt, like take the head and put them on the sides of the hilt, I feel like that would be fire, and it could kind of be like a Riku Keyblade. You know how it's mainly just blade,
Mm.
and then there's just one swoop on the end. Um, I feel like that would go hard for a Shadow Saber Keyblade. I actually might try and see if I can draw or edit that up later. But I feel like that, and then I want to branch outside of Power Rangers for Keyblades. Like uh, now, since they have Marvel and stuff like that, why not go Iron Man? Why not
Yeah,
go a
yeah.
Spider-Man Keyblade? Like make the whole thing have like a web between each of the like brackets. I feel like that would be awesome.
So when you say that, like, when it comes to like making them and stuff, would you just need like just the image to work off when it comes to making the
Yeah.
files?
So what I'll do is I'll take the image, right, and like I creating something out of thin air is a little extra. So like I'll take the image and it doesn't make it out of thin air because then I could take that image and I could model or design something after it, or I can even throw it into a program that will give me a base design of off that image, and then I can add on to from after that.
Mm.
It's 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 like having the thought but only in fruition instead of just going to an AI and typing the prompt in and going this, this, and this. I'd rather do it that way.
Fair. Have you ever seen the Lego Power Ranger Morph animations that's been going around?
I did. I think
Um,
they're hilarious.
I've actually interviewed the guy who made them. And the way that you're explaining, kind of like, modeling it from the image is kind of the way that he kind of explained how he makes the Lego models for the Power Rangers. He gets the actual image itself and kind of like works it around there. So yeah, it kind of sounds something very similar. Um, but honestly, I can't wait to see what you do, man. I mean, I've seen your work and like it is really good. When it comes to like actually 3D printing something. So let's use one of the keyblades for example. Like how long is the process from pressing print on the first piece to having it done fully ready to go in your hand?
Okay, so if I already have the model and the files, um, from the start to the end of printing it. So a keyblade, depending on the keyblade, will take about a day and a half to finish. And then from there, it's about 2-ish weeks of work if everything cures properly. So again, 3D printing isn't a perfect science. Not everything prints properly the first time, and not everything prints with the best quality. So it's not just like print, paint, and send. I mean, I can print, paint, and send, but it will look pretty awful, and some people might have a problem with that. So I'd rather not do that, print, paint, and send that way. So once I print, it's about a day, day and a half to print. I go, I'll take it, I'll give it a rough sand, and then that day I'll try and throw on a base coat of primer or resin. If it's resin, it needs about a day or so to cure in my UV chamber because I can't put it outside because it's plastic and plastic will warp. After that, I'll sand it down, then do another coat of resin, primer, and then I'll start painting from there. And then each layer of paint, like each color, needs about 2 days of cure time. So if I do the White Ranger Keyblade, it has black and gold mainly, with some different accents that I can paint by hand. So I'll need 5 days of painting to do, white and gold. I'll need 5 days of painting to do the white and gold. And white is a pain. And then I'll need, for the sanding and resin and whatnot, another 5 to 6 days. So that's at least 2 weeks. But then I have to do a clear coat, and I have to go back over any issues that there are, and then pack it just like normal. So I mean, it's like a 3 week process for a keyblade, and people don't really understand that. And I'm like, I don't want to give out a crap quality. I can, and then people complain, but it's not perfect. I can't just print and send. And I have a lot of people right now who want some. And again, I'm on that 40 order item commission, and I'm like, I can't do that and this. It's next to near impossible. And right now, the items I'm doing are power bows and power axes with lights and electronics. So that's why I'm trying to program currently these many these many circuit boards and upload the program to it. I just can't get them to register for some reason.
So when it comes to like, making these things, I'm guessing you're one of these people that, if it ain't up to snuff, if it isn't like up to standard, you're not gonna send it. You have to make sure
No,
it's 110%.
no. If it's not something I want personally, I wouldn't send it.
I like that mentality. I'm kind of the same with like making YouTube videos. Like I won't upload a video unless I'm like 100% happy with it, and like I'll beat myself up if it's like, if I've uploaded a video and I'm watching it back and I'm like, hang on a minute, why the fuck is this the way it is? Like, nah, I'm not doing this. So I respect that. Um, when have you ever had people get like? Have you like I don't want to say the word lose customers, but I guess that's the only way I could word it. Have you ever like lost customers because they're not happy with the fact that you're telling them, hey, this could take me a month, because
Um, the ones who I've never done business with or whatever, there are those people that I've told that I lose customers, but mainly because of my speed, I gain customers. So like, compared to a lot of other people, things take a lot longer to make. Like when people come to me for a helmet, I get it out within 2 months. You can go online or somewhere else from someone, Anarchy, Tyler. Not that they're bad or anything. Their quality is amazing, probably best of the best. But you'll be waiting 6 months. I waited 13 months actually for my helmet from Tyler, but you'll be waiting at least 6 months to receive a product, and then the communication isn't the best sometimes from different people. So like, it really depends on how you want to go about it. Okay, look, I got that many drive to pop up. I got 40 of these to program. So drag and drop the UF2 file.
see, like the one thing I don't get is when people do get funny because like it's your time, it's your effort, it's your money that you're putting into this, and you also have a life, you've already stated you got a wife. That's one thing. But in it on itself, like you're not stuck in your little room or whatever you use to make whatever where your printers are. You're not just stuck in there 24/7 building stuff. It doesn't work like that. People have lives and jobs and families and things. So
Yeah,
like I don't
I,
understand where people's mind go when, let's say, they go, oh, can I have, I don't know, something that's gonna be double the size of a human being, like a sword or
yeah,
whatever, and then you're like, yeah,
yep,
that's gonna take me 3 to 5 months, and they're gonna go, no, yeah, fuck you, that's terrible. Like, hang on, man, you're requesting something that's literally going to take time.
yeah. And some people don't understand that. And then on top of that, there's things that are physically not probable. So like, there's a difference between a drawing and a physical object. Yeah, you can make that drawing into a physical object, but you got to think of the actual physics of that object. Someone asked me for a berserk sword, and I'm like, it won't work. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, it won't support itself. The only thing you could do is put it on the wall and mount it. But if you try to hold it or swing it, it's not physically possible. It would have to be made out of pure metal, and then you couldn't lift it at it as it is.
Yeah, like I understand that one. Yeah, that who on earth would want a big sword like that? Where would you put that if it wasn't on the wall? What the fuck?
I honestly don't know. But again, as far as it comes with time, I make it clear to everyone that um, because I work from home and whatnot, and then I also do this, I will only do 8 to 4, period. After that is family time and family time only. Um, so
I
like
respect that.
I'll get messages after hours and like I try and respond to them as best as I can, but I really shouldn't. But after 4, I won't work on anything.
Yeah, I respect that. That's really cool. See, this is why, like, because I've me and you have spoken about me like buying something off you, which I still plan on doing at some point when you're not too hectic. I really want the Zanaku's flute dagger, and then I want you to make one for me, random colors and stuff.
Yep.
I still want to do that, and like, that's why I picked something small because one, I understand time, money, effort, and everything, but then it also, won't be too hard to ship because they're only going to be small things, and also they'll fit in my house.
Yes.
You
That
know,
too. That is a major thing. Like space is such an issue when it comes to like 3D prints and whatnot. The filament rolls not that big. Like my closet has 40 rolls in it right now. And it doesn't even fill half my closet, like a quarter of it. But I printed stuff with that filament, like the axe heads and stuff like that, and it takes up so much space. I have currently printed 11 power axes and 6 power bows. It is insanity.
good jeez. So, how many projects do you work on like one go then? So, like, let's say you're doing your
12.
just in one day. How many projects would you be working on at once?
12. That's my max limit, and I'll do 12 at a time and then pass on to the next stuff.
Jesus Christ, brother, you are a train. What the actual fuck, man?
But
You are
but
literally a
what most people
train,
don't
brother.
consider about the 12 is there's multiple pieces and parts to it. So like let's just go over the power axe, right? How the file split is there's the axe head is split directly in half with the blade on there. So there's 2 halves of that need to be finished. Then there's the main shaft that needs to be finished. There's the blaster cap, there's the slide, then there's the trigger, there's the cymbals. So all of that needs to be finished um, before like I can move on. And then it's not that it just gets finished in a regular way. It's not even that simple. It's so these, because I'm putting lights and electronics, I have to use white filament on the blade tip and the blaster cap because lights are going to go through those. So I have to use a certain type of filament and I have to sand it and finish it a certain type of way so it works and it's translucent. So I'm working on that's just one axe head that I'm doing, and I'm doing 6 of those and 6 bows at the same time.
Dude, you
And
are
then with
you're
those, they all have stands.
you are a fucking train, my guy. Jesus Christ. Like how you're able to even comprehend that is fucking phenomenal. Jeez. You need to give yourself more credit, brother. Fucking Nora. Like that
I
is
honestly don't know how I'm able to comprehend any of it. I just know I can do it, and then once I do it, I take the money, reinvest it into my house, and then take a little trip so my head doesn't explode.
I mean, one thing that I'm learning, and I've been making some form of YouTube content since I was 17. I'm 27 now, and like literally yesterday, I'm sat there and I'm in some form of mood, and my missus just turns to me and she's like, "You need to take a break," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "I've just watched your latest TikTok video where you're promoting one of your videos. You look." bored. You need to fucking stop for a little while, work on content you actually want to make, and just pack it in. And I'm like, okay. So like, I'm like, as the fact that you're willing to stop and, like, go on like vacations and hang out with the family, and like, like you said, you cut it off at 4, and that, you walk out, you're done. Whatever it's in there, it stays in there. Yeah, I'm still learning that. Like, separating life from making stuff, and like, I'm still learning that. So the fact that you've got that now, like, that's also really good, bro.
Oh, sorry, I'm slightly distracted because I'm like, what do you mean copy the file? But yeah, I how I got this nailed down. It took years of, I guess, figuring myself out because again, um, you might know this a little bit. I was military for a while, so
Yeah.
I kind of ate, sleep, eat, sleep, talk, think military for a bit, and it took a while for me to like figure myself out afterwards, like after I got out, and then doing the 3D printing and whatnot to discover who I am and organize myself. So like everything while you're in there is regimented and set, and then you're responsible for doing it on your own afterwards. And I'm like, wow, this sucks. I was like, they need to do a better job at teaching people how to be an adult. Um, but it took some time. I got there. And eventually, everything comes into pieces and works how you need it to for your life.
So, one thing I like doing on this podcast, especially when I interview people, is, I like talking about support and, positivity, and kind of like spreading that message a little bit. So, like, my next question is, like, you mentioned your wife and, your sister and stuff. Like, would you say that, your home life, your family are supportive in, you making, your 3D projects, and post it all on TikTok, and, all that stuff? Like, would you say that you're well
Yeah,
supported?
absolutely. They're very, very supportive of it. And they're like surprised. Like my dad is like, I can't believe you make stuff like this and you do this. Like he'll boast about stuff like that to all his friends down in Florida, and he's like, my son does this, and he's like, he does he does work with like celebrities and stuff. And I'm like, that hit me too, because I'm like thinking about it. I used to watch Power Rangers when I was younger. Um, let's see. I don't know. I used to watch Power Rangers when I was younger. See the actors on TV, see the helmets, see the suits and stuff. Never did I think that I would be um, recreating all of that stuff for them and working with them directly.
Yeah, like, honestly, bro, like, that is one thing I like to bring up with the people I interview, because like, the world is such a negative place. The news, and TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, especially Twitter's really bad for it, or X, whatever you want to call it these days. It's negativity first, and the positivity always gets shunned, to one side. And I always like to bring up the support side of things, because like, we need more of that. I like to kind of just show, the people that listen to this podcast, that the people I'm interviewing, support can be there. You can be supported. You can be, doing what you want to do and still be happy, and that sort of thing. So I like asking that sort of question. And it's also, the fact that, your dad boasts about it and stuff. That's really cool, man. That's absolutely awesome. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I really think that's cool. I mean, my mom will probably support it too, but she's a weirdo and I don't talk to her. But yeah,
Sorry,
I'm
bro.
glad my family is like real supportive.
I don't talk to my mum either, don't worry. Um, so one thing I had to bring up, because it's your profile picture on some things, is your Mastodon Black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Mandalorian fusion.
Yes,
Can
I
can
want to
we
redo that cosplay.
can we kind of like talk about the origins of that, please? Because that is really fucking cool.
Um, so the origins were kind of like random. It was right around the Mandalorian craze where everyone was like doing Mandos, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do like a regular Mandalorian. I love Star Wars. I wanted to do a Stormtrooper, and I was like, is there a Stormtrooper um is there a Stormtrooper Power Ranger crossover? And I couldn't find one. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty lame. And then I found a Stormtrooper Power Ranger crossover. But again, the guy only made it in the white and green. So I do what I do best. And I go, hey, are you going to make the other colors? And he was like, I wasn't planning on it. And I was like, if I throw money at you, will you make the other colors? And he said, yes. So
Nice.
I went and got the black file. The first black file was made for me, but like it's again a seller, so he could sell it for anyone. And I'm not stingy about most of my stuff at all in general. The keyblades I did have up online so people could print it themselves, but I had to get it taken down because people started to sell my files and try to sell keyblades, and I'm like, that's not cool.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Uh, but yeah, I the origins. I saw that and I was like, Mandalorian Power Ranger, let's do it. So made the Black Ranger helmet. I went with that. The first helmet, it looks worn as heck because it came out. What I used. This was like early stages of painting or whatever. Uh, I think I tried to like do lining on the helmet, and then I tried to coat the whole thing in resin to make it harder, and the resin just made the the detail paint run, so it looks kind of like it's a bleeding helmet, which is really cool, and I like that. So I kept it as a theme. It's almost like Boba Fett's armor when he came out of that. That's that thing. The thing that had like acid, but the armor pretty much saved him. It looked kind of like that. So I took that and I ran with it. I went to a modeler, had them, my armor is custom model. Nobody has that. So like the chest piece that has like the little mastodon and the shoulder piece, that armor is custom modeled. So I did that about 3 years back and I kept doing it for a while. I would have did it last year, but I didn't have the costume anymore. I did it the year before at Ranger Stop in Atlanta, Georgia. And the only reason I don't have the costume is I was trying to do too much at that time. I was vendoring and I was trying to cosplay. And I had someone helping me vendor and stuff like that. But when it came time to pack up to leave the con, we had a lot of stuff in the vendor area, and like we had to bring the vehicle closer so we can get it loaded. Well, we were running back and forth to the car, getting there, and I told the guy at the table across from me, I guess he didn't pay enough attention. If he could keep an eye on my table, make sure nobody comes over there. I'm running to the car. I'll be 3 minutes. And when I came back, two of my duffel bags and then two of my Megazords were missing, and I was like, great. So I lost mainly the whole Mandalorian costume. I still have the helmet, surprisingly, because I kept that myself, and I'm pretty sure they couldn't like use that helmet ever again. They'd just be in their house because I come for them. Um, but I had the helmet, and I lost all of my Cosmic Fury Orange minus the helmet. So I lost those two cosplays. Atlanta Ranger stopped. It was really crappy. It was a real crappy time, but eventually I'm gonna redo it. I still have the helmets. I have the files. I just got to get the spare time so I can do it.
Jesus, bro. What a load of wank, man. Whoever did that is the scum of the earth, brother. What the actual fuck? That is absolutely ridiculous. Man. I wondered why, like, because I've seen pictures of you wearing it and stuff, and I was like, hang on, he hasn't actually done anything with that for a long time. I wondered why he's
Yeah,
not
it was.
doing, like, he could get some
Yeah, it
views
was
if he, like,
stolen.
posted. And I'm like, I'm gonna ask him, like, how come he doesn't wear, fucking Jesus, dude. People are scummy, man. What the actual hell? What's wrong with people?
I
Jeez.
don't know. People, there's not enough good people in the world anymore, and that's upsetting.
Like, I just don't understand, like, a lot of people bitch about the negativity in the world, yet people are still doing it, and that's the issue.
Yep,
Like
they
if
complain
you,
about it, but they're still doing it.
yeah, like it's almost like putting your hand on something hot and going, oh yeah, this is really hot, by the way, it's burning my skin, but I'm not going to remove my hand though, I'm going to keep my hand here.
Yep.
Like it.
I think I like the fire. It's fine until it goes through my skin, right?
I can smell burning flesh. Is that normal? Yeah. All right. Cool. Like it just makes no sense. um.
Yeah. And
So.
I try to stay as positive as I can, like
Oh.
at all possible. Like sometimes when I see things I don't appreciate online, I will say something, and I won't spread hate about it. I'll just confront it in the most optic way there is. Like, hey, this is either a double standard or this is not right entirely. So I'm not afraid to do that. And then also when it comes to doing business, I don't tell many people this, but I won't do business with you if I feel like you're a bad person. So like, especially if you come at me through TikTok, I'll look at your reposts. I'll look at your comments. I'll see what you say. And if you say some messed up stuff, I'm not going to sell anything to you. You can get it from somebody else.
Yeah, that's fair. See, like the one thing that makes me laugh is I get told quite a lot because, like I said, I go live like with Cosmic Dude and stuff. That apparently I seem really negative, and I'm like, no, I'm just brutally honest, and you people can't handle it. So, like for example, I keep getting attacked on TikTok now because, um, I'm a very I'm in a loving relationship with one that I've known for 6 years. I've been with her for four, been engaged for two, and she's not the mother to my child, and so she's a very good stepmother, absolutely fucking phenomenal. I trust that woman with my life, and she supports me in everything I do. All my YouTube content, TikTok stuff, she's absolutely phenomenal, and TikTok or people on TikTok cannot wrap their heads because I like painting my nails and I've been doing it since I was 7 and my 6-year-old son when he was 3 thought it was really cool to copy me, so he decided to use actual paint to paint his nails, and I was like, dude, let's not paint everything. I can actually paint your nails if you want me to. And so he sometimes he wants his nails painted, and I'm like, yeah, cool, crack on, but you're 6 now, you can do what you want. TikTok cannot get their heads around that. So
It's literally go ahead.
sorry, go on.
It's literally the fragile masculinity, and it drives me insane. Like because you aren't okay with it, you gotta hate on other people or put them down, or maybe you secretly like it, but you can't express it, and they can. It's the fragile masculinity is like such a problem because if you don't have anything nice to say, you could just not say it entirely. Like it doesn't affect you, it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, exactly, right? So fucking I'm live the other night and I've actually on hanging out with Cosmic Dude live and co-hosting, but at the same time we're in a Discord call with like a bunch of our buddies. We're playing the game together. And I'm getting comments. People are like, "Oh, you shouldn't let Logan paint his nails. He's only 6." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's 6. If he wants to paint his nails, he can. Like, it's his choice, And all this, I'm getting like so much hassle. I'm blocking people now because it's just boring and shit, and all this stuff. And it's just like, I do not understand where people's
You
heads are because it's like you like you said, you couldn't just scroll away. That's one thing I do not get is if you don't like something, you had to scroll down to find my video or to find my whatever. You can just keep going. It's the same thumb motion. It's not going to change anything. I don't understand. And like, there's been times where like, I've seen people comment on like my TikTok videos about my son or my missus or like whatever, and they'll try to be nice to me whilst I'm live. And like you said, you'll check out people's comments and they're like reposts and stuff. And if they're trying to act nice to me, and I recognize the name, I've seen the profile picture before. I'm like, nah, dude, I know exactly who you are. You can fuck right off. Like, not
right?
happening, bro. And it's just like, I just don't understand why people have to be the way they are. And like, the worst thing is, as well, is, you know, over the last couple months, we've had people try and, gatekeep Power Rangers and,
Yep.
bitch about, but like, all this Power Ranger stuff. I'm like, you do realize this is a TV show that's like 30 years old, which is aimed at
So
kids, might I add.
I don't know how long ago you were part of the TikTok Power Ranger community, and there was a TikTok Power Ranger Facebook group and stuff as well. also another reason why I don't do Facebook. It's way too toxic.
Oh
There
yeah.
were basically two sides of the Power Ranger community online, and they did not like each other. And it was mainly like the one group was exclusive, and that's why they didn't like each other. So like they'd only let so many people in to the one group, and you're like, we don't want you in this group. So like that's why they really had problems with those people. Oh my gosh, it's like way too fast. I'm not sure. No, that's fine. Um, it was real toxic, and it was a bad time, and I felt like part of that community was coming back. So like with the whole gatekeeping thing and whatnot, it that felt like part of that situation was coming back. So that's why a lot of people were really upset because we don't want that anymore. Because why are you excluding people from universes or conversations or whatever just because you don't want them part of it? You don't like. Okay, so let me go real specific into it. Uh, Mentioning no names or whatever, but again, when they say they don't want them in the community, there's some people that are really a little extra nerdy that can't talk like correctly or phonetically get their words out the right way. Those type of people, they were like, "No, you can't be here," and that pissed me off. Like, why they were like that in general. So I was like, I don't want that type of behavior or community to come back. It's like, you look ugly, you talk too weird, I don't want you here. Who cares? They're
Yeah.
trying. They're trying to be social. They're trying to be part of the community, and you're putting them down.
See, and
And I don't want that entirely. And then it came back with the whole, if your favorite Ranger's not this, or if you don't like this, or y'all not real fans because you just got into Power Rangers. That was just bringing back that whole thing, and I'm like, no, stop.
yeah, like absolutely, I completely agree. And it's like, you know, Power Rangers is aimed at kids for one. It's been around for 30 years. It is aimed at children for the first thing, right? So I don't know why people are trying to like gatekeep or whatever. Like, get a life for one. And it's just like, my son's 6, and in the last year he's watched Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury, Wild Force, Time Force, and Jungle Fury. We've just started Lightspeed Rescue, and like he's kind of picking like which ones he wants to watch. I've told him that if he wants to watch In Space, Zeo, or Turbo, we have to start on Mighty Morphin, only because they kind of is
Yeah, they
continuous.
kind of connect.
Yeah, and so and the reason why he wants to watch Lightspeed is because of the crossover episodes. Because he wanted to watch my favorite one. I was like, well, that's you can watch Wild Force if you want to. So he watched Wild Force. Obviously there's 2 crossovers that include Time Force, and he really enjoyed those episodes. So I was like, well, let's watch Time Force then. And obviously Lightspeed Rescue crosses over into Time Force, so that's why he wants to watch Lightspeed Rescue. That's kind of like the way his mindset is. But he's absolutely loving it. And like me and like the Recon Ranger and Cosplay Dude and stuff, we've all been talking about this, and it's like, well, people are like trying to say, oh, we don't want these people and stuff. It's like, okay, then, well, if that's the case, we're allowed to say we don't want people that gatekeep on our community then.
Yeah,
Like, it can't be
exactly.
one rule. It can't be one rule for one and one rule for another. You're talking about a TV show that's aimed at kids, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
It got really, really bad for a little while. You said that you don't like Facebook and you stay off Facebook. I just don't like social media in general, bro.
Hey, just accidentally deleted everything but TikTok.
Like, TikTok is TikTok's the easiest social media platform to get some form of traction. Like, when I first joined TikTok, not this account's actually new to this year. My old account got banned. Different story for a different day. But when I first joined TikTok, that was 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, and literally just pure out of boredom, the way that life was going, I didn't have really much to do. I had no access to like games or like TV or anything, so kind of TikTok was kind of like an escape hatch for a couple minutes here and there. And it used my location, and at the time I was in England, because I'm actually English, but I live in Wales. and I was in England, and Mark the Red Corner Rangers actually popped up on my view page, and I was like, oh my god, people are making content on Power Rangers on TikTok. That's actually kind of cool. So I just started googling Power Ranger like phrases and terms, like Zeo, Turbo, fucking Let's Rock It, and things like this, and I kept finding people.
Oh,
The Zeo Hero podcast, and you and things like this, and Bio Babiaga, and all these really cool content creators. You know, I've become friends with you and BBI Yaga. I've had on the podcast before. She's absolutely awesome. I know that you did a video of her for her channel, which I
yep.
watched. That was a really cool video. Me and her did a video about Zords on her channel. That was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that one. And it's just like I I I,
Dragons.
I
How many
you
Dragon Lords are
you said a minute ago that like there's not enough good people, and it's like that speaks so fucking high because you've got people like yourself, me, cosplay dude, the Zero Hero podcast, Ben. I know you did a podcast with Ben a couple of days ago. Me and Ben are really good friends, and it's like I know a lot of these really cool content creators, and then you've got people trying to like gatekeep Power Rangers, and you said that. You've seen people like,
oh,
oh, this isn't your favorite Ranger, or this isn't your favorite season. You're not a Power Ranger fan. I'm like, well, then I'm not a Power Ranger fan because yes, okay, I love Mighty Morphin. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not my favorite season.
yep.
Yeah, and according to the Power Ranger community, I'm a terrible person for it. And it's just like, no, get a life. It's just like people are allowed to like what they're allowed to like. So I've held you for almost an hour. So I really do appreciate your time, and I get you're busy, and like you said, you've got a lot of make things. I really appreciate this conversation. It's been an absolute blast, bro. Honestly, I've really enjoyed talking to you. Um, Absolutely. If you ever want to come back on again, the door's open, bro. If you ever want to come back and chat Power
Oh,
Rangers with me,
absolutely.
whatever.
We could chat whenever. I was actually thinking about like joining the lives a little bit more often. The only reason
Oh,
I really don't go live like at all. Um, I don't know. I guess that's just me. I don't like to confront people, but like when there's other people on the not it's not confront. When there's other people on the lives, it makes it a little bit easier because I'm always distracted and not paying attention, and then I don't know what people want to look at or talk about. So I'm like, why even go live in general? But I'm about to start trying to attempt to go live more personally myself. But if I see you guys live, I'll swing past, try and drop in for a little bit, talk some,
yes, bro.
talk some Power
Absolutely.
Rangers slang, and
Yeah, man, you're more than welcome.
cosplay slang.
110%, bro. 110%. I want to
Speaking of which,
end this. Mate, you're like honestly, if you ever like, you want to go live, but you want someone like chat with, like you want that interaction, just hit me up, bro. I'll see what I can do, man. Absolutely, I'm down, bro. Yeah, 110%. I want to end this with K3vl0ck's top three Power Ranger seasons.
top three Power Ranger seasons: Lightspeed Rescue, SP,
Nice.
um, and the last one's a toss up between RPM and Lost Galaxy. And like I would say the Lost Galaxy because of the Psycho Rangers part, but RPM, for the simple part that it was supposed to be like a wrap up season, and they went into like back details of how Power Ranger stuff works, and also were like a little bit more funnier, uh, closer to the Sentai as far as funny wise go, compared to other seasons. Like Ziggy and the Scottish Ranger, great, fantastic. Like they
Yeah.
made that season. And then Gem and Gemma came, and they were even funnier. Called them the Boom Twins.
Yeah, bro. Like you've just shouted out some amazing seasons. SPD and RPM are easily up there for me. I adore SPD. I can't wait for my son to watch that one. He's gonna really like.
I
And
mean,
RPM is just phenomenal.
Lightspeed hit me because it is the first trained adult team. Like they were all priorly trained and
Yep.
continued training while Rangers. Like they didn't just like go and fight crime when they had to morph. They were training off time as well. They were pure humans, no superpowers, that only had tech that could connect to the morphing grid and beat demons. Like that speaks volumes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, honestly, like amazing seasons. When we do have you back, maybe we're gonna have to dive into one of those seasons and do an episode, like kind of just talking about one of your favorite seasons. Um, so where can people find you, bro? If they ever wanted to search you up on social medias and things.
Um, I need to get better at looking at my Blue Sky, but Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube. I gotta post more on YouTube. Email K3vl0ck, Discord K3vl0ck. Everything's K3vl0ck. If you can't find it via K3vl0ck, then it doesn't exist.
That I like that. That's good. If you can't find it by again, like it doesn't exist. Well, again, thank you, bro, for coming on. It's been an absolute blast, bro. Like we've chatted a good couple times in the past. I've always found you awesome, and yeah, this conversation's been absolutely lit, bro. I appreciate you, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me again.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Of course, if you're on the podcast side of things, don't forget to rate us now. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. We're getting close to 100 subscribers, so that'd be awesome. And of course, let us know if you've ever seen K3vl0ck on TikTok, and go check out K3vl0ck's like TikTok. You'll see all the cool things that we've mentioned. And if you ever get the chance to buy anything off K3vl0ck, absolutely do it because his stuff is phenomenal. Anyway, that's
And
been
I
us.
also try and compete with easy cosplay, but be three or four times the quality. So
Nice. Anyway, that's been us. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. Don't forget to roar with passion, everybody. We love you all, and we shall see you guys in the next one.
What you have just listened to is a product created by the Three Ranger Bros Studio.
Hosted by three cosplaying fathers who
happen to be massive geeks of all sorts of fandoms.
They are Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger,
Cosplay Dude 637,
and Ty Tiger.
The studio covers different types of YouTube videos, TikToks, podcasts, and live streams.
If you wish to find out who cosplays who, the YouTube channels, the TikTok accounts, and the podcasts, and all of the other social media platforms,
please go to the 3rangerbrostudios.com.